in celebration of the life of my brother-in-law, Larry Johnson. But we would like to have some positive messages interlaced throughout this day. And I think about who else would we rather have than somebody who brings positive messages throughout, not just Chicago, but around the world with his poets group that he has many spoken word artists that he works with. At this point, we'd also like to say that there's a vote for the Chicago Music Awards. He is up for an award as the most prolific spoken word artist throughout Chicago. So without further ado, I'd like to bring up Brother Blaq.
How's everyone doing, family? Let me hear you say, all right.
All right.
I need all the ugly people to be quiet. All right. Some of y'all wasn't sure at first. They was like, well, wait a minute. Am I supposed to make noise? Yes. Because you're beautiful. Because you're beautiful. First, let me give my condolences to Sister Georgia. Where's she going? In the kitchen, Sister Georgia, my condolences, Brother Clyde. And the rest of the family, I want to give my sincere condolences. I'm your brother, little brother, nephew, and we stand in the gap when there are times like this and when we're needed. So let's go through a journey, because you know in this life that we live, there's a level, and with every level there's a new devil, right? We're going to lose some people along the way, but there's one who's always constant. So let's go on this elevator ride. There's this elevator, right? It's full of people. Some family, some friends, some strangers, but you're all in the basement. The basement represents that brand new idea that was blessed to be manifested in your mind, but by the time you share your idea with the 10 people standing in the elevator next to you, some of them get off before the door even closes. Sort of like those so-called friends. The ones who you thought would be there through thick and thin down to the end didn't even make it to the first floor. The door closes. The elevator rises. Much to your surprise, you're making progress. The bell rings, you're at the first floor. The door opens, and guess what happens next? Those childhood friends, well, they got goals of their own. Time for you to be strong, because you're going to lose some of these friends during this ride and feel alone. But as they walk out, a few more friends walk in. You started off with 10, and now you're down to 8. Now one of the new friends who just walked in pressed floor 2. So you know what that means. The next time the elevator door opens, they'll be going too. But before they left, they introduced you to one of their friends who became your friend. Then y'all became close like kin. The door opens at floor 2. You lose a few, but one man walks in, and he becomes your boyfriend.
Come on now.
And now we're down to 7. Now only 4 out of the 7 are the original occupants that you begin with. In all, there were 2 strangers, one cousin, your mom, one friend, one new friend, and a boyfriend. Now the elevator passes floor 3. Seems like life is finally looking up. But just as soon as you get comfortable, you're at the 4th floor and the door opens up. You're staring death right in the face. Quickly you step back. He reaches in his arm and unexpectedly takes your mom. Everyone in the elevator consoles you. But this takes an emotional toll on you and your relationship. Everything you ever believed in or ever knew about is in doubt. You become so emotionally cold that right before the doors close, your boyfriend walks out.
Come on now.
What's to expect by floor 5? Now what just happened on the 4th floor was a game changer. But before floor 5 arrives, you will lose one of those strangers. But before he leaves, he whispers to you, there's something that I hope that you see. She said, what's that? That God wants you to go through everything that you're going through in order for you to get to where it is he wants you to be. He leaves.
Yes, yes.
4 remains. Only 1 more floor to go. But between the 5th and the 6th floor, you notice something. The other stranger reaches around you and hits the stop button. Everything is frozen except you and him. He said, okay, I think it's time for us to talk. Now, I've been here since the beginning. And I've seen everything that happened, and not once did you ever acknowledge me. I even gave you words of encouragement when you lost your mommy. I thought at that point you would want to get to know me, look around. Out of the 10 that you started out with, there's only a few. Now you have a choice or two. You can continue on. Use the experience of what you've been through to help heal, or you can do what you've been thinking, go in that person, take those pills. She said, no, I want to live. Well, then you need to learn how to forgive. She now knew who she was talking to. She takes a deep breath and asks for forgiveness, but he said, I'll forgive you when you learn how to forgive yourself. He pressed the button. The bell rings. The door opens at the 6th floor. To your surprise, your ex-boyfriend is standing there, offer you his hand. You turn right around, look at that man right in the face, and smile. See, family, out of the many people that have come into your life, you've already lost the majority. Expect for the ones closest to you to disappoint you, let you down, betray you. But don't you change, stay you. And at the end of the day, when you place your family and friends before God, he will remove them to show you that he's a jealous God. And none should be placed before him.
Tell it.
Trust him to know that he will replace everything stolen, restore everything lost, and heal everything broken. See, in life, you're going to have some knockdowns on the way up. But it's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up. That's that beat, y'all.
Yes, yes. Let's go. Nice.
You know, in looking at Brother Larry's obituary or write-up, I look and see that he moved to, I believe it was Minnesota for a while, Chicago for a while, but it's something about us, and I'm talking about black people, our resiliency. No matter where we are, there are obstacles that we have to overcome. But I'm going to tell you something. Christians and followers of Jesus and those Afrocentric, what do we call them? Conscious brothers and sisters. Struggle is a part of life.
Yes.
If you think that you're going to get from point A to point B without their struggle being before B comes, then you are doing nothing but fooling yourself.
Tell it.
We talk about earth, air, fire, and water. The 4 elements. But I have something a little bit different. I call them the 4 elements of life. Somebody say earth.
Earth.
Somebody say air.
Air.
Somebody say fire.
Fire.
Somebody say water.
Water.
Well, when we go out there outside and we drop something on the concrete, we say we dropped it on the what? Ground. But it's really the earth, right? So earth and ground are synonymous with one another. So there's another term that we use when we use ground. We say, boy, don't you get too big-headed. You need to stay what? Grounded. So being earthy means that we have to be humble, brothers and sisters. Knowing that there are going to be obstacles that are standing in our way, even from losing people in death. But we got to know that that's temporary. Anybody ever rode the red line before, and the first stop was 87th Street, and then the second stop was 79th Street, and then the third stop was, I believe it was 69th Street? Well, this is not the end. There's still some more stops to this train. And so when we look at death like it's the final thing, then we're doing nothing but deceiving ourselves. He don't have to worry about being sad and upset and having health problems and physical problems no more. Actually, he got it better off than we do, because after we leave here today, when that first of the month comes, we got to pay that mortgage and we got to pay that rent, right?
Come on now.
He ain't got to worry about paying no bills no more. He ain't got to worry about taking no medicine. He ain't got to worry about being stressed out by no family members and friends, because family members and friends, y'all know y'all stressful.
Come on. Teach. Tell it.
So we learn how to be humble, right? That's earth.
Amen.
But air, it's in this room. Can anybody in this room see the air that's in this room? But we believe that it exists. And so just like we can't see air, but we know that it exists, we know that there's a God. Although we've never seen him before. And we know that he exists, and we know that his word is true. And he said that there will come a time in Revelation 21:4 where there will be no more sickness, no more death, no more sorrow, no more hurt, no more pain, where the former things will have passed away. And we are waiting on that. And so you have earth, air, fire, and water, right? So we can't live without earth because we need food from the ground. We can't live without air because we got to breathe. We can't live without water because you know what happens without water. There is no life. That's the life germ. But why is fire there? Fire is there because we need obstacles in our life to grow to the next level.
Yes.
Without no progress or struggle, there is no progress. Right? There's no progress without struggle. So I come from the Inglewood neighborhood, south side of Chicago.
South side.
South side. Inglewood neighborhood.
Inglewood.
And I wrote a poem called I Love to Hustle. But I need y'all to help me out, right? I need y'all to say I love to hustle with me, right? I'm going to teach you how to say it. Y'all remember Diana Ross, I love hustles, right? I love to hustle, love to hustle. I don't even think y'all understand. Here we y'all part right here. I love to hustle. I love to hustle. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. I'll just tell you where I came from. My neighborhood. And how we have to fat, scratch, and fight. People always ask me, Blaq, why you grind so hard? See, I came from a hood where we had concrete yards. See, I came up hard, rough, with bruises and scars. Some call it the concrete jungle, where we got sacked a few times, even fumbled, but we survived with hope in our eyes, destined to reach the goal line. Born with the odds against us, the city drew lines, gerrymandered and fenced us. But coming from Inglewood, there ain't never been another generation like ours who been broke bars.
Tell it, teach.
I love to hustle. Because it doesn't really matter who's more talented when you got the gift of the hustle. Can't nobody touch you. You're always gonna be on top. And being on top also means that somebody's coming for your spot. That's why I stay hot in a whole nother bracket. Keep reinventing myself. Same dopeness in a different package. Now, if you sit here today alive, but you know it's only by the grace of Almighty God you ain't supposed to be here, somebody say I love to hustle.
Love hustle.
Oh, y'all can get a little bit louder than that. If you ever had to call mom up and say, Mom, I need some change until I get paid on Friday, somebody say I love to hustle.
I love hustle.
The world's greatest spoken word entertainer. Never losing, always proving them wrong. And I stay ahead because I'm headstrong. I've been blessed with this gift, so I'm using it. And if I wasn't doing this, I don't know what I would be doing. Back in the day, I went from dead broke to selling coach. Rain, sleet, and snow. Every day on the line, I had it sold up from David to Low. Didn't really matter whether you were stone or folks. See, they knew Blaq. And they had a major respect for a new jack because they knew that a cat like me would take this struggle and using it as hustle. I'm always on grind mode. Look at here, I can do this in my sleep with my eyes closed or blindfold, sight unseen. I walk in faith, I stay bold. Ain't no progress without struggle. We move in the line of scrimmage, offense, no huddle. This here be the phoenix, rising beneath the rubble. I love to hustle. Put those hands together like this, y'all. If you here today to talk about how good God has been for you in your life, let me hear you sing it.
I love hustle.
If you don't look like what you've been through, if you've been through the fire and don't even smell like smoke, let me hear y'all sing it.
I love hustle.
Hey. That's I love to hustle, y'all.
Yeah.
That's I love to hustle. So let me just say thank you to Brother Clyde. He mentioned that I was nominated for a Chicago Music Award for Best Spoken Word Poet. So I need your votes. That's what he was saying. Y'all vote for Black Ice. That's what he was saying. So that's what he was saying. So we got some things. We'll make sure that everybody gets some, but y'all just pass it around. I'm number 12, but I want to close with this, and this is my testimony, because a lot of times when we get losses in our life, we'll walk up to the person, we'll look at them in their face and we'll say, I know what you're going through. I know how you feel. And the truth is that we got to stop saying that. Because your level of faith makes a difference in how you grieve.
Come on.
And so, with one who has lost a child, I lost my son when he was 15 years old. I lost him to a form of cancer called osteosarcoma. And although I speak at many funerals today of parents who are burying their children, I never tell them, I know how you feel. I tell them, I don't know how you feel, but I know how it feels to lose a child. And so we got to respect the space of those who are grieving by letting them know that, hey, I don't know how you feel, but I know how it feels to lose a brother. I know how it feels to lose a parent. I know how it feels to lose a child. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't think I was going to come back from that. It took me years to be able to, and when I say the hurt never goes away, but it becomes manageable. So you learn how to continue on with life, even in the midst of the hurt and the pain. And if you are gifted and anointed enough, you can turn that hurt and that pain into your fuel, into your drive. So they say, Blaq, I said, well, why do you do so many things? Well, actually, I don't really want to think about that loss. So I keep myself busy. Yeah. And so I say, God, I don't know how long I have on this earth. I don't know how much, when my clock is going to be punched. But let me try to do as much as I can while I'm here. Let me try to save as many children as I can while I'm here. So we do mentorship programs. We send young people to college in the name of my son, Tyrone DeAndre Hawthorne Cancer Scholarship Foundation, y'all. So I also, before I close out with this last poem, which will be my testimony poem, I want to acknowledge my mentor, Sax Preacher, who's sitting over there. That brother, I met him when I was about 16 years old, and I was rapping, and I was ready to drop out of high school, and he convinced me to stay in school, and he taught me how to perform. He taught me the music business, and I wouldn't be where I am today without brothers like this that was in my life. So somebody say ego.
Ego.
This is my testimony poem. It's an acronym that stands for easing God out. Hey God, where you at? I've been looking for you. Seems like you've been avoiding me or something. And I've been searching for you for years for no anticipation. And I've been going through this transformation. But every time I call on you, God, it's like I get put on hold. And they say that you hear all and that you see all, but seems like you ain't never available, God, when I call. See, y'all, I remember it was January 91. I had just left Simeon's Martin Luther King ceremony speaking. I wasn't feeling too well that day. Little did I know that all the while, my appendix had been leaking. And where were you, God? Just what I thought, nowhere to be found. And if it wasn't for my son's mother convincing me to go to St. Bernard's that night, Black Ice wouldn't be here with you right now. And where were you at, God, that morning when I went to work and when I got to 123rd and Kedzie, right by the cemetery, this lady ran the light. The last thing I saw was headlights. A 3-car collision that almost took my life, but where were you, God? And where were you at, God, when my mother was stricken with cervical cancer? She's been going to the Kingdom Hall serving him since before I was born, and we both called on you, and you still didn't answer. Come on, God, this is my mother. Tell me, is this how you treat all your sons and your daughters? And where were you at, God, that day my son died? I sat there at the University of Chicago, and I watched them come back twice. You could have intervened. You could have saved his life, but where were you, God? And where were you at, God, when... Okay, my son, I've heard enough. Now I know that times for you have been rough, but son, where's your faith? Seems like you only seek my face when you need me, for I am a full-time God, my son. Do you really believe in me? Well, if so, then you would know that I am the creator of the universe. All that you see from the highest heights of heaven to what you have discovered beneath the earth. See, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I am the God of Moses, Lot, and David. I am the one who made Solomon wise. I put Noah in the ark before the waters could rise. I gave Samson the strength to destroy the Philistines with no eyes. I am that smooth stone that David slung that smote Goliath in the head. The cracks that crumble the walls of Jericho, the same one that rose Lazarus from the dead. I am the blood of the lamb of the doorpost that kept the children of Israel safe from harm. Even the staff in Moses' right arm, and he gave me the power to split the Red Sea in half. Shall I go on? I said, please forgive me, Father. He said, no, son, I already have. But like Jonah, you've been running from your mission. I've been trying to reach you and speak to you for years, but your ego just wouldn't let you listen. When your appendix was spreading poison through your body, I was the voice that spake to your son's mother warning you, and do you remember what you promised me, my son? Yes, Lord, I do. I promise you that if you allow me to make it through, then I'll return my life over to you. But what did you do? You continued to play. So I spoke to you again in the form of a 3-car collision, but I allowed you to walk away that day. And have you ever asked yourself the question why the accident was by a gravesite? I was showing you that the road that you were traveling on ended at the cemetery if you didn't change your life.
Come on now.
But you still didn't listen. And as for your mother's cervical cancer, I am the reason why your mother's cancer is in remission, and I know your son's gone. But his body was sick, so I relieved him of his pain and I called him home. And yet and still I stayed by your side all those moments that you felt alone, yet you still rejected my truth. If you only could have put your ego to the side and listened to all those whom I sent to you. Lord, you mean to tell me all the while I was waiting to hear from you, you were sending me messages through all those whom I rejected? Yes, my son, this is true. And instead of focusing on the guides, submit to the truth that you find inside. For Satan is the one who subtracts and divides, but my God is the one who adds and multiplies. I'm telling y'all, he opened my eyes. And so to those of you who can't accept the truth, because your ego will allow you to accept who the truth is coming through, take this as a lesson. Because God just ain't using these pastors today, because asking some of these pastors questions is just like asking blind men for directions.
Come on now.
But it's the truth that counts.
Come on.
And in this case, my ego wasn't just my ego, but my ego was easing God out. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Y'all want to know what he said in my ear?
Yeah.
What
did he say?
It was the most beautiful thing. He said, "Thank you, my queen."